I told myself that I would let myself be bad at things and be mediocre. And then I refilmed this episode. This is my third try because I didn't like the angle. So we'll see. Hi, welcome to the first episode of Amateur. My name's Emily and I'm your host. Like I said, I filmed this episode 3 times at this point. So I feel like I have a lot of thoughts rummaging in my brain because I said 2 different things in each podcast. So now I'm trying to combine everything that I said into one very cohesive episode. But I don't think that that's what this is going to be. First things first, I feel like it's important to give some context as to who I am. Um, I'm just a regular girl, a regular non girl. I'm a lesbian. I'm Dominican. I live in the Jersey area. And I recently quit my job for various reasons. One of them being it was sucking my creativity dry. I had been there for 4 years and I had gotten to a point where I felt very stagnant and I didn't think that it was going to go anywhere else. I just found myself logging in each Monday and having the same conversations that we've been having for the last 6 months. Like hearing things said back to me that I said a year ago. And it was just really hard to stay there. Just wow, okay, could we talk about something new? Could we could we try something new? Like if everything that we have ever done has not worked, why do we keep doing this thing? And maybe I was projecting a lot because I think that that's how I feel very deeply about my own life. So, yeah, I quit my job. Um and I think that's who I am right now. I'm making it a big part of my personality. But aside from that, I am someone who has spent their entire life I have one life that I know of, playing it really small. Like I didn't like to challenge myself to new experiences or new opportunities out of fear that I would be bad at them. Um and so I've lived a very small, very tame life, I'd say, where now I'm 28 years old and I'm looking back at it and I'm like, it's not that there's anything that I wish I would have done differently, is that I don't want to continue to live it that way because I do want more excitement and spontaneity in my life. And quitting my job, I feel, although a bit irresponsible, I'd say, I definitely, it wasn't something that I planned. It's something that I was thinking about for the last year of my life. And then it got to a point where all like all roads led to this. I just felt like I could not move forward with anything if I didn't let go of that. And because of that, now I am on this mission to live the most authentic, most creative life I possibly can. But that is so hard when I've almost grown accustomed to not living an authentic life. I don't even know what an authentic life could look like because I'm just what are my desires? What does being creative look like? And that's why we're here. I am creating this show for anyone else who is feeling like they have settled for a life that doesn't feel quite like them and are ready to start exploring what that could possibly look like. And it's not I'm my goal is not to like sit here and like, here's how to do this, because I think that there is enough content out there for us all to figure out how to do X, Y, and Z. But it's more of like documenting my journey and hopefully inspire you to figure it out for yourself. Editing Emily coming on here because I don't think that I articulated myself very well, even on the third try. But I want it. I want to be clear about my intentions because I think that your time is incredibly valuable. So I want to just let you know what you're in for. I think that there's a lot of content out in the world about inspiring you to live your best life. And there's a lot of people sharing how they're living their best lives. But I don't think there's a lot of content about the journey and the steps that it takes to learning how to live an authentic, creative, and fulfilling and pleasurable life. And this is what I want this space to be. I want people to be able to come here when they're not quite ready to go all in, but know that something has to change and feel seen and heard by the people in the community. And in order to see that kind of world or that kind of space on the internet, I am putting myself out there in hopes to create that. I don't know what my desires are. I don't know what this authentic life looks like. I just know what it feels like. So I'll know when I get there. But for right now, I'm just sharing the journey. And I hope that's enough to enable people to notice that maybe something isn't quite bringing us joy. And I even added in the third take that I might come to a point where the things I thought I wanted are not the things I actually want, are not the things that are going to allow me to live a fulfilling life. And I think that's also important to show. Now, I did say that I was going to talk about the connection between like not feeling good enough and then a desire to be good or show up really perfectly. And where I see the connection is that if we're always aiming to do things perfectly, if we're almost aiming, if we're always aiming to do things 100% perfect, we're always going to feel like whatever we put out there, however we show up, is not good enough because it doesn't meet this like impossible standard that we have set for ourselves because of how we think people will perceive us. I wrote in my notes of like, I don't finish things because I can't push past the part where it starts to look or feel a little bit mediocre or starts to feel or look a little bad. And I'm just like, I don't even want to finish it because if the finished product is going to be like a piece of shit, like I don't want to experience that shame or that embarrassment of like, that ended up really being like really bad. And it's like, why? Like if I create something and it ends up being bad, then I just create something else. And maybe that one will also be bad. But maybe the third time that I do it, it will be good. It will be okay. And maybe it'll resonate with someone. And if it doesn't, at least I got the time to spend on my floor with my dog talking this through because it needed to be said. If you're listening to this, my dog has joined the pod. So yeah, I will leave it at that. I am aiming for weekly episodes. If there's anything that you'd like me to explore, or if there's something that's present in your heart that you would like to share, I'm all ears. And otherwise, yeah, thank you for listening to the first episode of Amateur. Again, my name is Emily, and I'll see you next week. Bye.